You're a Praepositor, one of the militant Tremere of the presidium, devoted to restore the clan's old power, by force if necessary. The cult looks back to the pyramid of authority and blood that once united Clan Tremere as the ideal to which they must once again aspire. But the realities of the modern knights demand that they adapt if they are to achieve this goal. Praepositors have become eldritch soldiers of fortune, trading their services for the occult and secular resources the house needs. House and clan need you, and you stand ready to answer their call. Your every success reinforces Presidium's position within the Camarilla. But Praepositors aren't picky. Your superiors expect you to take up contracts with anarchs, or even in domains of autarchists, if it serves the cult's purposes. As for the old blood bonds that once tied the clan together, the Presidium sees their restoration as one of its end goals, and expects you to act with the same devotion and swiftness as those bonds once assured. Greetings, Kindred. I am Voivode Maquette, and welcome back to our World of Darkness and another episode of Metaplot Monday. Tonight we're going to be looking into one of the lore sheets in the Forbidden Religions book, the Praepositor lore sheet, which is a Tremere only background. This lore sheet ensures that you are a member of the presidium cult, a Praepositor, where your ideal is through work as a mercenary, is to forge ahead a new path to bring the pyramid of Clan Tremere back to power after their fall. After the attack on Vienna shattered everything that they had, these individual violent Tremere do whatever it takes to gain whatever eldritch knowledge they can get, working with Camarilla, anarchs, and autarchists to achieve their goals. These guys are the new Assamites, where the Banu Hakim have joined the Camarilla and have started to calm down their efforts when it comes to accepting contracts, except for a few personal Banu Hakim. These Tremere have taken up that role instead. Investing one trait into this lore sheet gets you Chastise the Wayward. You embrace the cult's ideology of war against those who oppose the clan, including the renegades within the Tremere. You may re-roll a single die in any dice pool to cause direct harm to another Tremere character if you believe them to be a renegade. With the way the Tremere has collapsed under its own pressure, the fact that you are able to call on extra resolve to work against other Tremere that you find to be not working in your own circle, that's kind of interesting. A player with this lore sheet could very well see anybody who's playing Tremere who does not have this lore sheet as being one of those said renegades. Investing two traits into this lore sheet gets you Discreet professionalism. You've been at the cutting edge of presidium efforts to build a network of clients and contracts that will prop up a reinvigorating Clan Tremere. Once per story, you can draw on favors due or debts yet to be paid to acquire 2 dots of status with any sect or clan for a single interaction. You can expect the person you leverage to want something in return for their assistance in the next story, if not before. So, Discreet professionalism allows you to have the ability to call on people who will do the Tremere favors, but you are going to have to return that debt soon, like within the next storyline. This is one of those things which could lead to leapfrogging stories. If a member of the Tremere Presbyterium who have this Loresheet has the ability to call on for one of these such favors. Like, say they need to discuss something with the prince, but they don't have the proper status to be able to achieve a council with him. They could call on a lower member of the same clan, gain 2 traits in that clan status or in that sect status, whether it's a baron or prince or something like that, going over, discussing, having that status to help back up their argument or their request or whatever they're trying to do, and then needing to pay back the individual who talked them up to the people they needed to talk to in the first place. This is one of those things that just kind of rolls over, because in the next storyline, or even before, as it says in the description, you may be drawn into another plot line by returning the favor. That's useful for storyteller and player. Investing 3 traits into this Loresheet gets you Guard the Clan. You joined this cult because you wanted to rebuild and protect what had gone before. Whenever you rouse the blood, you protect your clan's members and secrets. You may roll 2 dice and pick the highest result. That's so useful. The fact that whenever you rouse the blood for any reason, you're already in the mindset that no matter what you do is for the betterment of the clan. So you have the resolve, the overpowering of the beast, if you will, because you're doing a rouse check, to actually take whichever you want, which is higher. Rouse checks are already 50-50 most of the time when it comes to things. I mean, there's higher disciplines and stuff that call for multiple rouse checks, so that's arguable. But you get another rouse check every rouse check you do, and you choose the higher one. That right there is rather disgusting when it comes to how powerful a Tremere actually can be. You're acting as a preservation of vitae in that standpoint. Investing 4 traits gets you Expert Security. You're one of the cult's top experts in security and protection, and have a team of Praepositor specialists on speed dial. Once per story, you can spend a scene establishing a safe house or a strong point to grant yourself or another character up to 5 dots of haven that last until the end of the scene. This lore drains the use of 3 dots of resources for the remainder of the story, requiring you to obtain outside funding if you do not possess these dots yourself. So with this one, you actually create a safe house, either for yourself or for other people. And considering the fact that you are playing a mercenary who may have to do fetch quests or guide missions, which strangely enough come up a lot in Vampire the Masquerade 5th edition, this could very well be the meaning of life or death per scene if you are trying to avoid possibly trying to save someone from a blood hunt who has hired you, or if you know that they are being hunted down by a rival sect. This could very well be a turning point, but the cost is so high. You are draining for the rest of the story resources of 3. But it does not state that you need resources of 3 to take this Loresheet. It says that you need to get the equivalent of resources of 3. So you may have to call on favors just to activate this Loresheet. Investing 5 traits into this Loresheet gets you Blood Loyalty. The Presidium's early experiments to rebuild the clan's blood bond have borne unexpected discoveries. Mere shadows of true bond, but perhaps more useful in the house's current state. If you and another participant, mortal or vampire, signs a contract that you write using their blood or vitae, you must make 1 rouse check per level of blood bond you intend to initiate. Once signed, treat the contracted service as if the co-signee was blood-bound to it. To attempt to breach the contract, they must succeed in a contest of resolve plus intelligence versus the bond strength. Once the contract is complete, or you destroy the contract, the simulated blood bond immediately ends. So yet again, Clan Tremere has found a way to overcome their clan bane. The inability to create a blood bond. Now these guys can create artificial blood bonds. But I do have to say, if you want to be able to do this, you have to spend 5 points. That is a hell of a cost to create a contracted blood bond. Not to mention, you can't really get away with this as easy as slipping your blood into somebody's drink. Now I understand V5 has changed a lot when it comes to blood bonding, because what they do is they make it so that they have to drink it directly from the individual. But like, to make the game more fun on our end, my game has opted to say that the blood is good for an hour outside the body to be drank. So I'm sure there's other people out there who enjoyed the intrigue and the fun and the sneaking around that was trying to get people to drink your blood, that you can't do by just shoving a wrist in the mouth and going, drink it. Like, you can't, it's not as much fun. Now, this lore sheet can lead to some trouble, but it is one of those things that can be destroyed. So think of the plot lines. If you have a presidium Tremere as an NPC who's keeping a contract against somebody, and the whole storyline that you guys are going up against is trying to get and destroy the contract, that adds a layer of fun to these games that you can play with. Has anybody used this in any way? I'm very interested, because we don't have any Tremere players in my game right now. I have not seen this. Not to mention, this is a relatively new lore sheet. So, yeah, very interested in it. I am Voivode Maquette. This is Our World of Darkness, and thank you for joining me with this reading of Praepositor, one of the lore sheets that is Clan Tremere specific in the Vampire the Masquerade Forbidden Religions book. Good evening.